Well, listen, y'all, she can buy herself flowers, so he bought her an engagement ring instead. I'm talking about Miley Cyrus. Page 6 is reporting that she is engaged to musician Maxx Morando. Now, if you're going, Max who? Who is this guy? You're not the only one. Miley has said that as she's gotten older, she's more protective of what she's been open to sharing. So you're like, who is this guy? Like the rest of us, who is this guy? So do you find yourself more open or less so about sharing stuff about your personal life as you get older?
Closed shut like a bank vault. Everybody's out. No, it feels like Miley is taking a page out of her godmother, Dolly Parton's book. As you guys know, that Dolly was married for over 60 years to a man named Carl. We could never even pick him out of a lineup. Sadly, he died earlier this year. And she's also had some very public relationships with Nick Jonas, Cody Simpson, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
so
yeah,
right?
yes,
So I feel like she's learned her lesson where it's like, if you want something to last, and how could I forget Liam? That was a big one.
That was a big one.
They just finalized that divorce in 2020. And I feel like she's learned her lesson as she's gotten older, that if you really want something to last and to preserve it, keep it to yourself. We are not able to have nice things. Yeah, don't clap, because we're the problem. Don't clap yet, we're the problem, because as soon as we announce that there's a new celebrity couple, what do? We start going through all the photos, we discuss if we think they're gonna last, then we have lip readers who are going through private conversations. So if I'm in the limelight, I'm like, no, we're gonna hide this man from everybody so I can have my relationship. So I agree with you. Good job, Miley. Finally.
Yeah, I think especially for somebody in her position, it's really important to protect the things that you need to protect. And I've been thinking about it too, because I've noticed as I've gotten older, I've gotten more open creatively and more private and protective socially. So I'm not gonna post a bunch of stuff on social media, but I'm gonna be writing my second book in the new year, and that's gonna be very personal. But I always think about, what is the purpose? What's the purpose of me saying this? Is it just me telling my business and bleeding all over the page, or is there a purpose to me sharing this? And if there's no purpose, I'm not sharing it.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Yeah, wish more people did that.
You're right, exactly.
I mean, here's the thing, we're talk show hosts, we're in season 13 of the show. You guys know everything there is to know about me. And guess what? Pretty much. And guess what? It's actually in my job description. So yes, I continue to share more. In general, I've actually started to share more as I get older. And certainly something I've learned, probably more so in my 40s than anything, was prior to my 40s, sharing wasn't about connection, it was about sort of exuding this persona of strength. As I get older, for me, sharing now is something I realize actually invites connection. Vulnerability invites connection, whereas before I thought that strength was what invited connection, and in fact, it really isolates people if you're like, I'm so strong all the time, I have no problems, and I've got nothing to share, I'm perfect. I think the older I get, vulnerability is how you actually can open a door to connect with another human. So you're gonna be getting more stories from me here on the social for another, hopefully, 13th season. And I've learned a lot of that from you, if I can say, because you are very, when you talk about bleeding heart, in the best way possible, open book, but it's when you are vulnerable that you actually can connect with someone more than
I agree.
not.
No, I agree, and I mean, we have shared a lot on this show. Though I'm protective a little bit of my relationship in strange places. Like if you go on my Instagram, my social media, you will barely see a picture of Jason. I do share a lot of stories about him on my podcast, but as I've gotten older, I feel like I share less and less of the really detailed parts. There was a time in my 20s and 30s where I was like talking a lot about things, and sometimes to get advice from friends to actually sort of, get their take on like maybe a fight that we were in. But lately I'm like, you know what? Who knows him better than me? Like, no one knows the alchemy of our particular relationship. And I think actually we have a very unique relationship. So if I was to take that to anybody, to my friends, even my closest, and try to get their opinion, first of all, they'd be very biased towards me. And second of all, I just think even if it was a neutral topic related to us, they may not understand it. Like, your relationship should be protected a little bit, the uniqueness of it, because otherwise people are trying to make it they bring out their issues onto your life.
And don't you also feel, it's a great point. But don't you also feel like, especially with what we do and with what Miley does, she's obviously a big celebrity, the person you're with didn't sign up for that.
That's true too.
That's
they
exactly
signed up for you. They didn't sign up for the whole world to know every single detail about their personal life. And you know how we are. Once you let us in, you can never tell us to go away. So
It's a balance.
yeah.
It's a balance. Okay, so 2 awkward first date stories now. So Scarlett Johansson shared on Jenna and Friends that when husband Colin Jost first asked her out, he took her out to dinner and wanted to continue the night with drinks with friends. And she declined and actually went home at 9:30, or my bedtime. He later said that she was acting so weird that he thought he'd completely blown it. So this first date, not great. Bee, how much weight do you put on a first date?
Yeah, I don't put a lot of weight on a first date. I've learned that. That's something I've learned as I've gotten older because I kind of look at the overall vibe. Because I could be very awkward. I'm very clumsy. I might spill something, I might trip over something, it might be real weird. But that doesn't mean that I'm not trying to build a genuine connection. So I don't put too much weight on the first date, unless it's terrible. Like a guy who took me to McDonald's and thought there was a shootout in the parking lot and used me as a human shield. There was no second date. That was
I'm
it.
sorry.
That was it. That's a story for another day.
Oh my
I'll come back and talk about that one.
Oh, that's not awkward. That's
Oh
horrifying.
yeah, that was very horrifying. It was awkward and it got worse.
He used you as a shield.
He was trying to hide behind me like this. They were behind me and he was like this.
Heaven forbid he take the bullet.
Heaven forbid.
Wow.
So that was a first and last.
I bet you he's someone's husband right now, but now you. I feel like if you've been on the dating scene for long enough, if you haven't been on an awkward first date, have you even dated? Like this is par for the course, and I've been on. I haven't been used as a human shield, but I have been wrapped to. I have been in buildings that I think were abandoned. I'm not quite sure. I've also been brought. I've also been brought to a family gathering on first dates. First date. Listen, the awkwardness. Listen, there's not enough time in this show for me to go through all the nonsense. But I will say this. I'm like, you know what? We go over the birds and the bees when we talk about dating with a fine-tooth comb about sexiness. Has anybody here ever been taught how to date? How to court, how to ask somebody out on a date properly? Of course, none of us. So of course there are all these awkward dates. And you may be asking yourself, Andrea, why did you go in that abandoned building? And the answer is very simple. The guy was really hot. And the hotter the guy,
The more you're willing to kind
the more I'm like, you know what? The abandoned building wasn't that bad. And I will put that on myself.
Okay, maybe that's the reason why my first date with Ryan was really awkward when I look back on it. And December, what are we, December the 3rd today? December 9th will be 19 years since our first date.
Wow.
So awkward can be okay.
Yeah, if he's hot.
If he's hot. And he is. And he is. Our first date, we went out to a lovely dinner, but Ryan lied to the maitre d' saying it was our 1-year anniversary. Oh my God. And I didn't even know his last name. I was like, oh, our first year anniversary. He's like, yes, we would like the best table in the house. And I was like, well, that's quite a move. So we went, we got the table, but then the server started asking us all these questions about our 1-year relationship. I'm like, again, sir, I don't even know this man's last name. So it was awkward, but in a really fun way. I learned that I need some humor in my life because I'm the very serious one. And like I said, 19 years later, the awkwardness turned out. So maybe to your point,
Good work.
yeah, it can work out, right?
But if he was ugly, we wouldn't be talking about him right now.
Correct.
All right, so let's move on to a developing story from the North Pole Gazette. The Grinch is suspected to be hiding in a Brantford, Ontario neighborhood. You can see his work here. These anti-Santa signs were put up during the Santa Claus parade. The police station confirmed they received multiple complaints, but the signs are not illegal. So what do you think is the most effective way to deal with a neighborhood Grinch? Bee, I'm gonna throw that one to you first.
You know what? I'm gonna ice them out as a neighbor. I'm gonna ice them out. If you're a Grinch at Christmas, I'm gonna assume you're a Grinch all year round. You're not the person I'm gonna knock on the door and ask for sugar from.
Okay.
I'll let you do what you wanna do on your personal property.
Yeah.
But don't come knock on my door.
Don't
and
say hello,
hey.
don't wave at me.
No. Let's just keep it separate. That's what I'm gonna do.
I hear you.
That's what I'm gonna do.
But if you watched the movie, you know how the Grinch's heart ended up growing 2 sides? It was because they killed him with kindness. Basically, Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2, came out. She asked him for a glass of milk. I don't know if I got the full, but then they heard everyone down in Whoville singing because even though he stole their presents, he was his Grinch, they were still happy. So isn't the idea we should just kill this person with kindness?
Is that what you would do?
I'm just saying it's maybe the thing you should do.
Okay. So you're not doing it.
I don't know. I think my higher self would like to do that, sure.
I mean, listen, well, who is this monster in the house?
That's the question.
Who is this monster, okay? We got all this time. Parents are trying so hard to keep the magic of Christmas alive. And this guy, oh, that's a new camera shot. That was nice. Thank you so much, Ray, downstairs. I distracted myself. So I just think if you are a parent who sees this, this is TV stuff going on right here. So I get the idea of killing him with kindness, but to me, I mean, I don't know if it should be illegal, but it should be almost illegal. Like if I'm shoveling, my neighbors, I have won the lottery. You know your neighbors can make or break your life on the street. And so what do great neighbors do? They look out for you. You know, when it snows, if they're out shoveling, shout out to Len and Kathy. They always do our street for us, our sidewalk.
People.
We do the thing. And so guess what? This guy's never gonna get his driveway shoveled.
But maybe
You know,
maybe his neighbors are actually normally the Grinches. Maybe he has. I'm not trying to defend him, but maybe
It sounds like you are, though.
I mean, I'm just
Doing
trying
a
to,
lot of
maybe he's out out of a job. Maybe he's having a really tough time. Like
You gotta make a sign
Okay, but
about
wait,
it.
I was
bring
gonna
him
say,
a hot chocolate.
Okay, I understand your empathy for this person because you're wondering what happens to a person
happens?
for them to take the time to go to the store to get the Bristol board, to get the markers,
down and
to
write
make
it
sure
out.
the letters are big enough for you to read, to put it up specifically during the time of the Santa Claus parade. I understand there's something wrong with that person. It sounds like this person needs a hug. But if I were a parent, I would spin it. I'd be like, you know what? Remember the story about the Grinch? That's where he
That's where he
lives.
lives.
And that's why we
Exactly.
never go there. The Grinch is inside, so we stay away from that house. Let's look at Santa. Spin it.
Oh my God.
Right? No?
I agree. I agree.
What else are you gonna do?
Okay, a bride is. We're moving to this. A bride is going viral after she spontaneously cut her hair into a bob between her wedding ceremony and the reception, okay? So there she's going, she's cutting it up. She told People magazine that the groom had no idea, but he actually loved the look. So is your wedding day the right time to do a change like this?
Looks cute.
You know,
Oh,
you know
the
what?
women don't like
You
The
know
women
what?
don't
Okay,
like
it does
it,
look
but-
cute, you know.
Yeah.
That looks really, really cute. I'm glad that this audience is not only gorgeous, but smart also. Because I just think this is such a betrayal on the first day of your marriage. Because this is not about a haircut for me. This is about communication. This is about having openness. You know, like he's got an interesting haircut himself, by the way. It looks like it in that video. If he would have done that without talking to his wife, she might have some words for him. There's a story I have about this. It's very, very personal. When my mother and father had me, actually, let me go back a step. I want to show you what my dad saw when he first started dating my mom, okay? My mom was a, gorgeous girl. Okay, look at this. Look at that hair, okay? You see that hair? Long, beautiful, Asian, black, thick hair. He loved it. And he made a point of telling her, I love your hair, I love your hair, I love your hair. When she had me, hormonal challenges, a lot of moms know this, she chopped it. Oh, first of all, look at how cute I am. But anyway,
the whole show looking at herself. Or she's like, look at that. Look at that angle. Look at me as a
focus on my
child.
mom. Let's focus on my mom. See that cut? She cut it after she had me, and she's never grown it since. The thing was, she was losing so much hair, and she never told my dad in advance. She was scared about it. She chopped it. He didn't talk to her for weeks.
Oh, wow.
Okay, maybe he did other things in the house, but she was like a new mom with a husband not talking to her because she chopped her hair. And why? I get it. That sounds like my dad's a mean guy. He wasn't. It was like, I just wish we would have talked about it first, just so that I could have some input. And so my point is, I love hair. You guys know I buy a lot of it. So it means something to me, but just like if Ryan did something drastic and he didn't talk to me first, I'd get really hurt because I want you to like what you see, but I also want to like what I see too.
What do you think?
You know what? I thought it was really fun. And the way I took it was that clearly this couple has that type of relationship. When you see the response, she must have known that that would have been okay, right? But I also...
She took 3 inches off. It wasn't like she
Right, it wasn't
shaved
like
her
a
head.
huge thing.
Yeah.
But I also love the fact that she wasn't taking her wedding so seriously that the look has to be perfect and this hair has to be like this. She didn't take it seriously. It seemed like it was something fun for them to do. And for me, that feels like it speaks a lot to who she is as a person, but who they are as a couple. So I thought it was really cute.
that's
I thought it was fun.
great.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
You
but
wouldn't
I thought
do
it's
it?
cute. I wouldn't do it. but I thought
Listen,
it's cute.
whoever marries me knows that I'm going to change my hair every day with whatever mood I have with the wind. So this is not going to be a game changer for my husband. But I will say, I was thinking about the opposite. Like, I love a man with a good beard. I love a good beard. And the idea that my husband, who I would have just promised to stay with him through sickness and health, would have shaved that beard in between the ceremony and the reception, I don't know. I don't know. I might ask for an annulment. I'll be like, I didn't sign up for that. I don't know. So I feel conflicted. I'm like, you should just let it go. But it's like, but don't shave your face, not without permission.
Right? The world doesn't need to see that weak jaw.
And the thin lips. And all the other things you're hiding. But yeah, no. Whatever.
All right, so someone wrote to Slate wanting to know what to say to a friend who's always giving her unsolicited advice. She says this friend actually got upset with her when she stopped listening. So, do you appreciate unsolicited advice, even from well-meaning friends, Andrea?
Quick answer, no. And I'll tell you why. As a person who is single, I have gotten excruciatingly bad advice from people, married, single, divorced. But I'll tell you what I have noticed. I have noticed that the people who have the most advice are the people who are in the messiest relationships, with the worst situationships. And the friends that I have who are in really solid marriages and solid relationships, they just talk to me like a normal person. So whenever I meet somebody, cousin Charla, who has a lot, I love you, baby, I love you, but they got a lot to say, I'm just like, I just go, you're right, I will take all your advice and just ignore it, which is what the advice I give everybody else to do.
I mean, does everyone have to be? I feel like I give a lot of unsolicited advice. I just do it. I do it because I feel like I have some wisdom, and I think what the thing is there a difference between saying to somebody like, you need to do this, which I don't do, and saying like, I wonder if you've considered, does that land?
How do people respond? How do people respond when you do that?
Most people respond pretty well to when I give advice, and what I have gotten into the habit of more recently is asking someone if they're venting, a friend, a family member, close friend, what do you need from me right now? This is a good thing to do to people.
Yeah.
Do you need to just vent and outlet, or do you actually want some helpful advice? And I think that distinction matters, and it helps. I appreciate some good advice sometimes. I do.
First of all, you give really good advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's a wonderful listener. And it's not unsolicited. I think your secret power, what you think is unsolicited advice, is you actually ask questions to help me clarify.
Is that what I do?
That's what you do.
Okay.
It's really smart.
Asking questions is not giving unsolicited
Correct.
advice.
But
It's
You're
having a
leading,
conversation.
I'm leading someone that way. That's
Yeah,
right.
You are leading the witness a little bit,
Yeah.
but it does force me to ask questions, which I think is actually the highest form of respect. In fact, not only asking questions, sometimes I think that silence when someone's venting is the highest form of respect, because you are saying to this person that maybe they're just venting, I trust that you're gonna find your way. And to be honest, we know what unsolicited advice is. You're just projecting your own garbage onto this person's life. That's all.
That's all
And
it
it makes you feel better at the end of the conversation, and they feel worse.
But I love that, Cynthia, you said that you ask if this person is venting or if they want advice, because I found that my mother is somebody who loves to fix things. So if I call with an issue, she jumps into fix-it mode. She jumps into advice mode. So I've had to set that boundary with her where I pick up the phone, I call her, she says hello. I said, listen, I'm gonna say something and I just need you to listen. I'm just venting. Don't try and fix anything. I just need to get it off my chest. And she'll be like, okay. And then I go, and then I know it's a very uncomfortable thing for her to do, to just hold that silence, but she does it.
Okay.
And then we can go from there. But I have to preface the conversation by setting that boundary first so that she understands what I need in the moment.
Wow.
That's great.
You know what? I
Big.
love that. I'm gonna try that with my cousin Charlotte. Cousin Charlotte, the next time we talk, I have a new, we have to talk. All right, so let's move on. So we're soliciting advice on this winter fashion trend, wearing heels with socks.
Yes.
Okay, a combo that was once unthinkable is having quite the fashion moment. So Bee, are you on board with this trend?
No, I am.
You are?
I am. I think a cute little sock with a cute heel, a cute skirt set,
Okay.
it's a whole look. I mean, I always loved as a kid when we'd go to church, I'd wear the little frilly socks and like my patent leather Payless shoes.
Yeah.
And you couldn't tell me anything. You could not tell me anything. I was that girl. I was 6 years old, but I knew I was that girl.
I agree with you, but
So I
now
love
as a
it.
grown woman,
Now I have the grown woman vibe.
where are we going? Where are
I'm
we
still
going with
that
this?
girl.
Okay, you're
so
still that girl.
I have that grown woman vibe. I haven't done the sock and heel, but I would do it.
You would?
I would do it.
Okay.
With the right outfit.
Cynthia,
I
are
would.
you into this?
I mean, you know what you reminded me of when you were
Yeah.
just talking about that was I feel like everyone has fixed in their mind if you're of a certain age, that video from ZZ Top, go with me for a second. It was, she's got legs. Remember when she's at the shoe store and she's getting these little frilly socks and it's nylon socks? I have that fixed in my brain as a kid. I was obsessed with that look and then I forgot about it. And now that it's a thing now, I'm kind of in, but it's super sexy. Like
It
it
is.
is kind of really provocative. Maybe
Sexy?
I
It can
think
be.
it can be.
I think I'm with
think it
you.
can be really
I'm with
sexy.
you.
it's
I'm with you.
sexy in like a kinky way.
Yes, exactly,
Oh, I
guys.
see. Okay, I got it.
In a 1980s
Yes.
prostitute
All
kind of
that.
way. Okay.
You're not doing this.
No. No, you know what? This conversation's over. I am so not into this. That's all I have to say about that. Hey, Bee Quammie, we love having you here. Thanks for
I love
coming
being
back.
here. Thank you for having me. Mwah.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.